Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, as part of the Australia series, I thought I'll cover some options for permanent residency in Australia. Now, permanent residency in Australia gives you an option to stay, live, and work here indefinitely. Now, I'm not a registered migration agent, and there are many options that are available, but I'm going to cover the most popular visas that I myself have applied, and a lot of my contacts have applied as well. Now, there are different categories of visas, but I thought I'll speak about two of them. The first category is points tested visas. Now, under points tested visas, you are awarded points for different parameters that you qualify. I'll place some of the points on the screen, and then on the basis of that, your points you can calculate. Now, there is a threshold that the department or the state sets, and if you are crossing that threshold, you are then given an invitation to apply, and then your PR process happens subsequently. So, although the minimum requirement is much less, the threshold is usually really high at which the government awards these visas. So, the most common ones in this category is number one, it's the 189 visa. Now, 189 visa is skilled independent visa. Now, there are some requirements that the department sets, and you need to qualify these requirements, and then you are awarded these visa on the basis of your points. The second one is the 190 visa. Now, 190 visa is, some of the requirements are similar to the 189 visa, but there are some differences. Now, this visa is called skilled nominated visa. You have to be nominated by a state or a territory. Now, every state or territory in Australia, they have some requirements that you need to fulfill, and if you fulfill those requirements and you've applied, and if the state thinks that you are able to reach the threshold of the points as per the specific requirements, you are then invited to apply, and you get rewarded extra 5 points also in this category of visa. So this is also a very good visa to get permanent residency in Australia. The only difference being you have to remain in that state for 2 years. The third one is the provisional visa. Now, provisional visa is also called skilled work regional visa. It comes in the category 491 subclass. Now, if you have eligible family members who are living in regional Australia, you can apply for this visa. Now, regional Australia are areas that are away from the metropolitan cities. There are some postcodes that are listed by the government that fall under these regional areas. So, if you have family members that are living in these regional areas, you can apply for this visa. The catch here is that you need to live and work in those regional areas as well when you come here. Now, this is not a PR as such, but it gives you a whole lot of benefits that are quite similar to permanent residency as well. And you can live for 5 years. And then after 3 years of getting this visa, you can apply for 191 visa, which is again permanent residency in Australia. So this is also a good visa category for people who are interested to come to Australia. Moving on to the second category of visas. The second category of visas is called employer-sponsored visas. Now, the most popular one in this is the 186 visa. This is also good for students or migrants who happen to find a good employer who's willing to sponsor them under the employer nomination scheme. Your employer needs to fulfill some requirements that are laid down by the department. And once it does, you can then apply for permanent residency under this 186 visa subclass. Now, apart from the other requirements, I think the only catch is that you need to be working for 3 years in that occupation. The second visa is very similar to the one that was there in the first category. This is for regional Australia again. It's called the skilled employer sponsored regional visas, I think. It comes in the subclass 494. The requirements are quite similar. You need to live and work in regional Australia. You need to find yourself an employer who is willing to sponsor you to work in regional Australia. And after that, after 3 years, you can then apply for 191 visa, which is your route to permanent residency in Australia. The next category of visas, they are fairly new and have become really popular as well. They're called visas for innovation. Under the Global Talent Visa program, if you are working or if you have some achievements under your belt to show, and if you're working in some of the target sectors that the department has listed, you are eligible to get your permanent residency in Australia. Now, this is highly recommended for PhD graduates or seniors or professionals who can show some memberships to some societies or some patents that are recognized. If you are in a position to show that, you have your direct route for permanent residency in Australia. Now, these visas, I think they are the most popular ones at the moment because the processing time for these visas is really less, and they're being offered in quite a lot of numbers because there are allocation of quite some places in the numbers that are done in the beginning of the financial year by the department. I'll place the link to some of the official resources in the description section. You can check your eligibility requirements as well, and you can see if you qualify for these visas to get your permanent residency in Australia. Now, there could be some updates that are made to the requirements or the eligibility for these visas. I would like to cover some major updates also through this series. So, having said that, in the next part of this video, I would like to help you with how you can calculate your points for the points tested visas, and I hope it will be helpful. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe. Thank you. The content shared in this video is based on personal experience and research. If you enjoyed the video, like, share and subscribe. Keep watching, keep listening and continue learning.